Day 4 of me rewatching and reviewing The Legend of Korra every day until I finish the series. This will be episode 4. Let's talk about it. Okay, so for this video, I will be doing something a bit different. I did not find any cons in this episode, not any serious ones anyway. In fact, I was genuinely kind of impressed with how this episode handled its characters. Yes, there are some iffy bits here and there, but nothing enough for me to call it a con, so I'm going to instead talk about this episode in key points. So, key point number 1. I love how the series handles Korra in this episode. From the beginning, we see that Korra is being strangely calm. She is more behaved and mindful, focused on her training. A funny bit is when TLOK wants her to join the task force, and she says no, which shocks even Tenzin. Her reasoning was due to training and such, which makes even Tenzin wonder that something must be wrong with her, because this just isn't the Korra we know. And he's absolutely right. The episode proceeds to show us a Korra on the edge. She is scared, afraid, on the verge of breaking down. Seeing Amon ruined her mentally. It broke her entire personality, because Amon is Korra's consequence. She is shown to value her role as the Avatar above all else. She is brash, stubborn, arrogant, and boastful of her skills. And here is Amon, the man who can take all of that away with a single touch. And Korra is afraid of him, even avoiding him, which comes to show later when this info is used against her. At first, to make her join the task force, because Korra doesn't like admitting she's afraid. She doesn't like being weak. But again later, when after the raid, she has to contend with her fear, having immense effects on her in the field. She then decides to challenge Amon to a duel on Aang's Memorial Island. She calls Amon a coward, that he's hiding in the shadows. But this isn't what she thinks of Amon. This is what she's thinking of herself. She is the coward. She is the one who's avoiding Amon. And she hates that. She hates that feeling. So she deflects it onto Amon and then gets punished and humiliated for it. When Amon does show up and doesn't even take her bending away, she faces her fear and her fear wins. So when Tenzin comes out to check out on her, she breaks down crying. The consequences of her actions were served to her right on a silver platter that she herself ordered, and she has to live with that. Live in fear. This was beautifully written. The next key point has to do with Mako and Asami, mostly because I want to praise how well Asami is being portrayed in this episode. She shows up, runs over Mako, and immediately takes responsibility for it. It's a chance encounter that ends up working well for Mako, since he does need money for the championship, but Asami, being this rich girl, was fangirling over an athlete and immediately bankrolls him just to get in his good graces. Yeah, that's extremely believable. Even Hiroshi's explanation for why he's backing Mako makes sense, both personality-wise and business-wise. Number 3. I liked how Amon wasn't a complete moron. This show is trying to emphasize how smart and terrifying Amon is, and via the writing and the ambience, they are pulling it off nicely. If I were Amon, I would have just ignored Korra's invitation, but if I did go, I would take my army with me, and Amon did, capturing Korra and dragging her into the shadows, having the cheap lockers take away her bending, and having just enough light to fully maximize the menacing aura. And then, right as Korra's fears are proven true, right when Korra's hopes have been fully extinguished, thanks to her own mistakes, mind you, her stubbornness and arrogance to challenge a villain and then go alone, Amon punishes her for it and leaves without harming her or even taking her bending. Now, I've always been critical of Amon for not taking her bending here, but he's absolutely right. This was the correct choice. If he did take away Korra's bending here, then the nations of the world would mobilize on Republic City and wipe out the Equalists immediately. But not making Korra a martyr was the right choice, especially now that Amon knows Korra isn't even a threat. This was also brilliantly done. This video is long enough already, so I'm going to give it a rating, which might shock you, but it's a 10 out of 10. I have no complaints for this episode, and it definitely surpassed my expectations. Actions finally have consequences. Characters are progressing. The villains are making their presence known and amping up their threat level to be beyond Avatar Korra's abilities. Stand proud, Korra. You got a perfect rating out of me.